Hey everybody, it's me, How About Maybe? And today, I want to talk about the things that have been the dread of killer mains for months now, which is the anti-slug. It's coming in July. People have been freaking out, saying that when these changes come out, survivors will be too OP, killer will be so weak. Survivors are having their handhelds, killers are gonna get ran over by a bus. But, first of all, we don't know what these changes are. And second of all, if we're getting these changes, what should they be? I think I have some good ideas as to what they should be. And, if you hate them and want me to die, you can tell me in the comments, I guess. Make sure you subscribe while you're there, too. Yeah. Now, most people think that these changes would just be survivor buffs, but I follow the law of equivalent exchange. So I buffed some killers, too. Yeah. Well, I buffed killers with it, too. Now, let's just get started. For the anti-tunnel base kit, I would make a change where you can see when and how long your teammates' endurance and haste lasts. This would help you know when to come in with a body block hit for that teammate when the time is right, making sure they get the most out of their endurance, but making sure that they have a lifeline when it runs out. And another suggestion would, for recently unhooked survivors, to not have collision with other survivors for 10 seconds to avoid sandbagging. Not that I think recently unhooked survivors having collision with the killer is bad. It's just that with other survivors, sandbagging tends to be an issue when they're trying to body block for you. This will just make it easier. Also, you can keep collision with the killer. I don't really think that's an issue. No. Now, this is where we're going to get into a bit of controversial territory, but I believe perks like Friends Till the End shouldn't cause a recently unhooked survivor to become the obsession. Or even let a survivor with a hook stage become the obsession while other survivors who haven't been hooked are currently alive. I think that would probably be a pretty good change for it. On top of that, perks like, killers like Nemesis and Wesker, they should not show killer instinct to the killer when a survivor who's recently been unhooked is cleansed of their shaz. This just incentivizes the killer to tunnel, and honestly, maybe that's the reason why there's so much Nemesis meme tunneling. Like, Nemesis is tunnel all the time because you see the killer instinct of a survivor who you just hooked 50 seconds ago. So yeah. Now, I know this would probably be a pretty big blow to certain killers, and it'd be a pretty big blow to killer overall. Friends Till the End is a very popular perk after all, and it's also pretty strong. So, to balance things out, every single anti-tunnel perk deactivates during endgame. I'm not just talking off the record, I'm not talking just Decisive Strike. Babysitter, Borrow Time, and even frickin' Blood Rush all deactivate in endgame. Because killers, they need to secure kills in endgame. Not a single one of them will work. Yeah. And if you want to say, well, how about maybe? Why would you nerf these perks? And to that I say, did you not just listen to me? But I know what you really mean. These perks aren't widely used enough. Well, how about maybe? Why would you nerf them? And to that I say, these perks are actually good. Like, okay, maybe Borrow Time's not, like, the best, but it's certainly a good perk. Babysitter's meta, and Blood Rush is honestly, it feels overpowered sometimes. You just haven't gone against it. Just because something isn't used a lot doesn't mean that it isn't strong. And I think these perks exemplify that perfectly. Because no one wants to bring anti-tunnel perks for their teammates, but everybody wants to bring an anti-tunnel perk for themselves. Yeah. And that's about it when it comes to the anti-tunnel. I feel like these would be good changes that give some nerfs and buffs to all parties involved, except the Spectator. Spectator's still OP. Anyway, now for the anti-camp, this is going to be the shortest section. It's really simple. Let survivors see their anti-camp bar. Let survivors see their teammates' anti-camp bar, and nerf some of the anti-camping perks and deactivate them in endgame. Killers need to secure kills in game, like I said, and these changes would also help curb the issue of your teammates stopping you from getting full anti-camp because they're hovering around the hook waiting for the killer to go away when the killer is clearly proxy camping. Anyway, not like that happened to me recently. Behavior has also made so much anti-camp base kit. With 10 extra seconds in the anti-camping radius, I really don't feel like we need to add anything else. And also, with that 10 extra seconds specifically, I feel like certain other anti-camping perks should have been nerfed. Like, you can stay on the hook for 100 seconds in a single hook stage when it comes to reassurance. That's kind of stupid. That's longer than a generator takes. Anyway, for anti-slug, if you've been on the ground for over a minute, you can instantly pick yourself up without needing to recover all the way. This stops the killer from slugging the entire time and making you bleed out for 4 minutes. And it stops the situation where the killer slugs for the 4K from being so miserable. Slugging is really unnecessary most times. Even if you just do it because it's better than hooking, it still shouldn't be something you can do super freely, in my opinion. However, this would ignore a big reason killers slug. Sabo. With Sabo's buffs last year and behavior deciding that anytime they glance in Breakout's direction, they need to buff that perk, killers would really need to slug more. My solution is simple. Remove Sabo. Yeah, I said it. The sabotage feature in this game is horribly designed and is super outdated. I really don't think it has a place in modern Dead by Daylight. You could replace it with something else, you could rework the perks tied to it, you could do whatever, but I really think that it's time we get Sabo out of the game. Except Saboteur. That perk can stay. I think it does Sabo pretty well. So these anti-slug changes would let you, as a killer, like, you down somebody and there's a survivor around for a flashlight save, they let you chase off that person, maybe get another down, but you don't get to just slug the entire game. And even in those situations where you're trying to get 2 downs because 2 downs are better than 1 hook, you're like, well, now I can't go back and pick up the first survivor. In 99% of situations where you get 2 survivors down, I personally find that you will not be able to go back and pick up the first survivor. And in the situations you can pick up the first survivor, the 2 slug survivors are so close to each other on the ground that this anti-slug mechanic will not even come into play. So that it barely changes the balance, but I think that it just makes quality of life a lot better. And I don't think for this we need to nerf the anti-slug perks because, you know, Unbreakable, picking yourself up with Unbreakable and Exponential and such will still be better because it's faster than waiting for the 1 minute to instantly pick yourself up. Yeah, but like once you've already used Unbreakable once in a game, this will help you not get slugged to the ground anymore. And not only that, having your teammate pick you up with something like We're Gonna Live Forever or Buckle Up will also be better because of the effects of those perks. Will help you not just go down instantly again. Because I don't think there should be base kit endurance once you get off the ground. I really don't think that's a good idea. Especially in endgame. Yeah. Anyway, I have more to say on all three of these topics, well, except anti-camp, really. I really said my piece, but I don't want this video to be too long. So if you have any suggestions or you want to talk more about this, if you know me on Discord, you can just hit me up in a DM and talk to me there, or you can just leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'd be happy to talk with you all. I love discussing Dead by Daylight balance. I just ask that we keep it simple. But yeah. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. I love you all so much. And as always, Hag frickin' sucks.